Hey, everybody. Welcome to Midwest
Hello,
Paratalk Radio.
kitties.
I am the G-Man. That is Deb. Welcome to another Midwest Paratalk Radio live. What in full effect? What? What in the world was that?
You totally screwed the pooch on that one.
Golf clap.
So instead of putting the intro by itself in there, I put in last week's show.
Dude, I thought, why do I see Forrest down here? Oh my God.
It was, hey.
It's all right.
I usually do better. I used to do a lot better. I don't know. My age is messing with me, I guess. But anyway, yeah, I'm fired. All right, you guys, welcome to Midwest Paratalk Radio. I'm the G-Man. That is Deb, and tonight we have Boonville, Indiana Paranormal Society. Billy and Felicia joining us again for a little chit chat and scat skiddly doo bop. Anyway,
Okay.
I don't know. So shut up, Deb. No one likes you.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming back on with us and putting up with our mayhem that's going to ensue tonight. I have a feeling.
Look, I think so.
Do they hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
They're just in shock.
Hey, yeah, they're like, what the actual fuck did we get into? Holy shit.
We're doing this
Oh my
again.
God. Right? God. Welcome back. First off, I do want to say that we just came off of an investigation. I'm a member of Boonville, Indiana Paranormal Society as well. Came off the investigation this last weekend, and it was a long investigation. And, you know, and we were talking earlier about, I guess, nonchalantly about fatigue and being worn out and everything. Do you know, for the 2 days after that investigation, I was tore down.
I still am.
I still am.
How long did you guys stay? I mean, when did you?
Till 4.
leave?
Till 4 this time, which was kind of unusual for us. We usually don't stay.
Activity was there.
Well, we stay that long because we're putting stuff away, but we didn't break down or even start to break down till after 4 o'clock.
The activity was there. I mean, it was worth it.
It was worth every penny of that.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was
You're getting too old for
surprising.
that, Jay, right?
You know, but any other time of the week or the day, I can stay up and it's not that big of a deal. But it seemed like it wasn't the night of the investigation. There towards the end, I was getting a little tired. But it seemed like for a couple days afterward, my energy was just tapped.
Gone.
I was drained. I was drained there.
Yeah.
When we were there, I felt super drained. I was like, I can't move. I'm so exhausted. I need to go lay down. Like, it was bad.
You think?
Right.
It was
Do you think
the area? Do you think it was the place that
Oh,
drained
yeah.
the energy out of everybody?
Because
How'd your batteries do on your equipment? Were they drained?
Would we go through like 4 sets of batteries?
yeah,
Yeah, we went through quite a bit.
Yeah, we burnt through some AAA's, like hardcore.
9
Yeah.
volts too. 9 volts.
We don't usually have that problem either. You know, I mean, even yours, Greg, your H1, it does well with batteries, and just we could not keep batteries in these things.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've never had to change the batteries on my H1.
I had to
You changed like
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times, and then Sydney changed 2 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
And they're fresh batteries, so it wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know, they were half-assed batteries. It was just, and the first investigation, I think we changed 3 or 4 times on the H1.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It was.
and
a
Deb,
lot.
you know, yeah,
It was
and Deb, you know that the H1 doesn't do that.
No, like I said, I've used one for years, and I can't think of a time, maybe one time I've had to change the batteries. I always start out with brand new batteries every time I go somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Now, I'll go home and reuse them on other stuff, you know, but yeah, I don't,
TV remotes.
that's unusual, I
Mhm.
We
think,
should invest in stocks and batteries.
right?
Right.
We need to talk to
Yeah.
Duracell about some type of sponsorship.
Right.
Person.
Yeah. Maybe we can get them to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
right?
Go.
I'd be down for that. But yeah, it was weird because I wasn't feeling myself until almost Wednesday morning when I got up for work, and I even got up late for work Wednesday too.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just like I couldn't get enough sleep. It was that much. There was a lot of activity. Wouldn't you guys say there at the house that it seemed to be more ramped up in the basement this time than I think it was the first time that we were at the location.
Absolutely.
And I also think that the house was different this time when we went in. It wasn't the same that we went into the first time. This time it went a little different, and I think it was like the atmosphere almost changed in there because we were asking more intense questions. Like the first time it was like, oh, we're playing with Walter, but this time it was, you know, what's downstairs, what's causing the bumps and the knocks and the tapping and rattling and everything. I'm not even gonna lie. I used the H1N1 for the first time there.
H1N1, you got the bird or the swine
or
flu?
whatever it was. H1.
Oh, bless your heart.
Give this woman a shot.
I know, right? I'm exhausted. I used the H1 for the first time there, and I'm partially deaf, so I don't get to hear audio most of the time. And I had something come up and literally go in my ear, and I was like, startled. I was like, what was that? Like I can hear the direction that it was coming from and everything, and I was like, I've never experienced that before. And so it was really interesting using that.
So I think a big part of the extended activity or the difference in the atmosphere that we were experiencing is also that we weren't new to the house the way we were the first time. I think whatever was in there knew what we're about, and they're like, okay, we can act out a little bit around these guys. They're not gonna like freak out on us. So I mean, it really felt hesitant the first time. You really kind of had to grind for that activity. This time it was just bam, 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 like one right after the other.
Greg, that's kind of like it was when we went to the roads the first time we went with Paranormal Group. Honestly, I thought it was Deadsville. I don't mean that. I don't mean literally. I mean, we didn't.
No, I mean, yeah.
It was just it was nothing happening except a bunch of shenanigans by the actual investigators that were there. That was kind of annoying.
Right.
And got nothing. And I thought, man, this place sucks. It's not. There's nothing here. And then when Greg and I went back with a different crew, and it was totally different experience.
Well, we went back with Pert, so that was a team that Deb and I had started when we were in Indy together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we gave it a second chance.
Me too, because it was really good the second time.
Right. I mean, just the experience, I think that Jason, he was a guest investigator with us, that he had. I mean, he had phantom dog barks and phantom cats around his legs, little girls running past his head up the stairs. So I got cat
meows on my EVPs.
Right. And see, but Jason, I think Jason manifested that himself, which is because he's highly allergic to cats. So I think he manifested that energy on himself and brought that cat into that.
Either that or the entity that was yanking his chain with the little girl chasing him up the hallway and everything knew that he had a thing about cats and was playing with him.
Can we bring him? Bring him to that? Can we bring him to the place that we were at?
Actually, no, because he now, which is oddly enough, which is kind of weird, he lives in Arizona now. Yeah. He went out and he's working at Raytheon in Arizona.
I don't blame him. That's a good place to work at. So.
Right. So, like this investigation that we did this past weekend, it was odd to the extent of the energy was ramped up probably 100% higher than what it was the first time that we were there. Oh, yeah. But it actually reached out and touched one of the guest investigators. Well, I guess she wasn't a guest investigator. She was the cousin or cousin 3 times removed past a brother's hip or some kind of bullshit. But she was down in the basement with us, and we were running an EVP session. And while we were down there, she's like, I feel something on my back. And come to find out, we ran all the boys out of the garage where we had base camp, and all the girls were in there, looked at it. She had one scratch down the middle of her back, in the middle of her back.
Yeah.
And I was like, Deb looks like she's frozen. Are you frozen, Deb? Deb is frozen. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, it just seemed like she'll get back.
Okay.
It just seemed like the activity was a little bit meaner in that one area, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Yep, Deb dropped out. She makes fun of me. Go ahead.
She'll come back.
Yeah, no, I mean, and
Yeah.
the crazy thing about that scratch was like it was in a spot to where she physically could not really reach herself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the other thing. Like I at first when I looked at it, I was like, okay, maybe she could possibly reach this, but no, there was no way for her.
And
to
when we
reach
were
that.
watching her on camera, she's on camera the entire time. She never once retched to her back.
Mm-mm.
Like it was
Right.
it was just there and unexplainable. And you almost had to be there and witness it to really appreciate it for all it's worth.
Well, see, and that was the thing, like you said. I mean, it was in a spot on her back that she couldn't reach. But the thing was where she was sitting in the floor, because we were all in the floor, including me, Deb. I got down in the floor, if you can believe that.
Oh my God, call Ripley's.
I know. And
Yeah, the
there
fire
wasn't anything behind her. The fire department, shut up. Nobody likes you.
But
Paramedic Felicia was on standby.
Right. But where she was sitting in that room, I mean, she wasn't close to a rack. She wasn't close to any kind of wood shelves or anything of that nature. So that was a little bit weird.
Well, also it was kind of interesting too because like I don't want to put too much information out because we still gotta review evidence. But I remember us getting on the portal because I built the spirit portal, and that portal came out with it saying that it was the cat
Yeah.
that scratched her, and I was like, really, like the kitty cat, and it
Right.
was awesome. And she was kind of joked about it. She's like, really, Walter, like. I thought we were friends. I thought we were best buds, but it also had commented that he was playing.
Right.
So
I don't know, man. It was weird.
I'm sorry.
That
That's
was really
my first.
weird.
That was my first pet paranormal event, and I'm still like in shock and awe by that one because that was so. It just kept giving more and more and more.
It did, and that was really, really cool, actually.
The first time that we went there and dealt with that, and we had that motion sensor music box going off at the foot of the bed, like I was a little skeptical at first. Like, could it just be malfunctioning? Bad batteries. But going into each investigation with fresh batteries, and now we have the repeated same exact stuff going on in the same place, and we've had that music box in other places in the house before, and it didn't do that. So. All of that tied into the repeated activity with that music box really kind of solidifies that for me. I feel like that was genuine. Like
not only that, like there was 2 instances. One where the homeowner came up and was like calling her cat.
Yeah.
And it walks away from the box. Like the music stops. And then it would go back. And then I went in there this last time and I was like, what are you doing, Walter? You playing? And I'm like, Walter, kitty. And I'm tapping on the bed and he would step away from it. And then he'd go back to it and play with it again. And it was really interesting, like to get responses like that. 'Cause as I said, I've never dealt with animals still being there.
Right.
Cool.
And I mean, it was really kind of weird to get the intelligent response from where she would call him, and when he would walk back in front of it, like he was toying with it, like, yeah, I'm still here. But I mean, like on command, she would call him and it would stop. It was weird.
and then on top of that,
The cat ball.
Right.
Cat ball in tandem with the music box at the same time. the music box would start going off, and then all of a sudden the cat ball would go off. So I mean, there's something there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the odds of two pieces of equipment malfunctioning at the exact same time are just astronomical. And I don't feel like you could really,
like the way we were seeing some of the, like, I don't want to say like shadow play, but like some of the movement in the cameras was almost like it was jumping up on this wooden, I call them like quilting boxes that parents put their quilts in the bottom of the footboard, the foot of the bed. It was like he would climb up on that, and then he'd climb up on the bed. So we put the REM pod right there. And we're like, oh, let's see what happens if we put the REM pod. Maybe he'll activate the REM pod. No, then he decided, he was like, nope, I'm not touching this at all. You move the REM pod, he would come back.
Yeah, he definitely was not a big fan of the REM pod.
No, I froze and dropped out. My internet connection kicked me off. Came back on. So let me clarify something because I missed a little bit. Are you talking about a pet spirit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've had a little bit of experience with that in the past. So personally, with my own pets. So yeah. Hey, they got souls and spirits just like we do. All animals do, I believe.
Yeah.
Especially with like dogs and cats, I feel like they love their owners just so much that they feel like once they go, like, I need to stick around to make sure that this person is going to be okay, is what I feel it's mostly about.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, you can just look in the eyes of your animals and see how deeply they feel.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone to say that these animals don't have souls, I mean, all animals have souls. I truly honest. I mean, even down to the ants when I squish them from coming into my house on the counter. I mean, I'm sorry about you, bro, but
don't tell me that.
You're going to ant heaven. Okay, bye. You got to go. But
I can't kill things. I scoop them up and take them out. I just vacuumed about 1,000 ants off my son's floor and dumped them out in the yard. Dave's like, they're just
so on that line of thinking and logic, they're just going to come back in.
I know, and I'll keep sucking them up in the sweeper and throwing them back outside. I can't, man. I say a prayer every time I see roadkill. I can't do it.
Deb's gonna be like, I can do this all day.
Deb sounds like me when I hit the raccoon. Like I pulled off the side of the road immediately and just started bawling.
I would be devastated. I have hit things and been devastated, so I know. Yeah, that's cool. I thought that's what you guys were talking about, but I wanted to clarify that just in case. Because like I said, my internet connection seems to be pretty sketchy tonight for some reason. I have no idea, but
I wish I could take you to this place because I think Deb, you'd have a blast in this place because it just it lights up. I
enjoyed watching. I popped in on the live. I'm glad you guys did that. I popped in and out frequently through the night.
Yeah, we seen you.
Yeah,
I wish I'd been there.
Oh, we wish you would have been there too. Like, we love investigating with you, Deb. It's fun.
2 days, we'll be doing it again.
Oh yeah,
6th of June,
8th of June, yeah.
8th of June, yeah.
I want to investigate with Deb.
Yay, we're gonna have fun.
So I do have a question for you, Deb. Has Greg shown you the video of the light anomaly that we found that is like really kind of been like wow for us?
I don't think
I have not. No, I have not. It's on the video. It's posted up on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. And you almost don't see it at first.
We didn't catch it until after the video was posted. Like, I was watching the episode and I'm 5 minutes and 8 seconds in, and then out of the corner of my eye, I looked away a little bit, but out of the corner of my eye, I catch this movement across the screen. It comes across the screen, stops, and then turns to the right. It stops. Like, I can't reiterate that enough. Like, it literally stops, turns to the right, and exits the room. And I was just like, what? Did that just happen? Did I see that correctly? Let me rewind that and watch it 10 more times just to make sure that I seen it right.
I'll have to go check that out. Yeah.
I
saw a couple of things, and I mentioned them to you guys when I was watching the live. on your screen. Did you see anything when I?
We're still reviewing it. Like, we haven't gotten that far yet, and we're dealing with an issue. I think Greg had talked to you about it, where it seems like we're only getting bits and pieces of our video.
I think what's happening is that the DVR system, after I looked into it, like the way that the maker of our DVR system is, there is a motion detection function.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somehow, I don't know if you have to set that every time. Like if you power it off, power it back on, you have to go into the settings. I wouldn't think you would have to, but because
like
all those videos were only like 2 or 3 minutes long off of that first camera.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll look at it. We'll get through it. I mean, the manual on it's only about, Webster Dictionary.
I'm starting to notice that a lot of the new, so most people, they use DVR systems. They use security cameras because they're really good. Their night vision's great. They have good lighting. Clarity's good. Lack of pixelation. But the problem is a lot of these makers are now going, oh, well, only want to video record if something's moving there, right? So you'll only get recordings of said cat moving across the room or something. You're not going to get where you're not in the room, nothing's in there, and maybe you're going to have mist that moves because it doesn't recognize the mist. It doesn't recognize a shadow moving. It stinks. I really hope that stop doing that.
Well, hopefully we'll have to sit down and kind of see where the settings are on that and what we can do to try to manipulate that, because especially with like this past investigation, I think that if this is the case with it, we might have missed some video. I think the saving grace of it all, though, is that we have the FAS cam.
Absolutely.
And we're able to use oh crap!
Is it a full spectrum cam?
Full spectrum. Yeah.
I did learn something about the FAS cam, though.
Oh yeah.
We haven't actually been using it on the full spectrum setting.
Oh really?
Yep, I know how to do it now, though.
Wow. Okay.
There is a
I
setting.
don't know, man.
There's a setting on the light, like you've seen the little colored dots down at the bottom of that light, right? Mm-hmm. If you switch that all the way over to that white setting, that's full spectrum.
Okay.
That's
all right.
Your red, your blue, your purple.
It's literally going to cast all different filters of light out into the room. So, yeah. Right
on. So, we'll have to play with that. And technology, it sucks. I remember when we first started doing this, it was all just recording it.
Yep.
There was no video.
Little $20 Swan cameras and 800 yards of cable. But it just recorded. There wasn't any
audio
stop time or anything like that. Yeah, we had audio. We didn't have audio at first, but I didn't have audio at first, but then got cameras that had audio, which was nice because when we did that private, were you with the MRIPA when we did that private home and we got that video of the little girl who said, "Hi, Ginger"?
No, that was long before me.
That was awesome. And that was the way camera, the camera confirmed what the audio recorders were picking up, because the camera picked up the recording, the audio as well, but it also showed the dog walking by the audio recorders that were on the table, and the little girl's voice said, "Hi, Ginger," and the dog's name was Ginger, by the way. And there was nobody in the house, and that family didn't even have little girls. So, I mean, that was like the golden trifecta. We had the audio from the camera, the video, and then the audio from the handheld audio recorders. That was wild. This kid loved the dog for some reason.
I think you got to tell Deb about that one. I know it's not on the video yet. We haven't put it on video yet for everybody to see, but you got to tell Deb about that.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. She's talking about the poker game.
Or blackjack. 21.
The blackjack that
I was watching you for a little bit. Yes.
It was pretty intense. Like, so I guess my favorite part of that was right towards the end. We got a voice that came through on the spirit portal, because we asked, we hadn't heard anything, and we had asked, do you want to hit or stay? And it says that it wanted to hit, so I hit it with another card, and then you hear it go, shit, all done. And I'm like, all done? Like, did you bust? And then you hear a voice come across that said yes. And I was like, no way, no freaking way. We turned all the cards over, and sure enough, busted. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That's really cool.
I did that a couple times.
Yeah.
Which was
Now, was that over your spirit box, or was that in the headphones?
That was over the portal, the spirit portal.
That thing that you made.
Yeah. It attaches to our SB7.
I can't wait to play with that.
Right? It's pretty badass. It really. Hi guys out in the chat. It really ups the EVP session game. It really does.
How did you make that?
Okay, so I mean, they're all over Etsy, but I was learning about them. It's a small speaker amplifier, basically, and it has you have your SB7 that goes into a noise gate, and that noise gate, basically, when an SB7 is running, or SB11 or any of them, you hear this
the sweep.
Yeah. The sweep, because it's sweeping so fast, you hear those like the little ticks in between. That actual noise gate blocks those chicks, so all you're hearing is pure voice. Like, guitarists use it, and people that use like vocals will use them, so that way their vocals come through, but the static from their amps won't come through,
or the static from them speaking,
or whatever. So we hooked that up, and then you put a reverb on it, which basically gives it a little bit of an echo,
which helps you hear stuff that's more faint, because it plays it a couple of times.
Yeah, so it'll echo it back to you a couple times, and then just let it go. You have to dial it in, of course. It needs to be dialed in correctly, but which that was a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. But once you got it dialed in, like, it was working phenomenally.
So do you have to open and close the gate, or is that
no? So the noise, the button, you turn it on, and you can
set it to the setting
that you need it to be at, and
let it ride.
You just let it run.
Yep.
And it's so quiet. And then all of a sudden, a voice will come.
You'll have a loud voice that comes through, because you'll be like, "Is this thing working?" Like,
yeah, you're like, "Is it turned on? Is it working?" Like,
I like to ask, "Can you hear me?" And then if you get a response, like, it comes through real nice and clear. So.
Oh yeah, it comes through so clear.
The old shack hacks used to get on my nerves so bad. Mm-hmm. All that noise, and I hated reviewing the audio from them. And I made one of those. That was long, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But that sounds so awesome. I want to make one. I'm like, where do I find the plans for it? How do I find the directions? How to make it? Where do I get the stuff from?
You come talk to me. I'll get you set up with everything. Like, I know, because again, with me having like hearing, disabilities, like when there's other sound with sound, there's more frequencies going at the same time. So if I'm hearing, I'm totally missing any voice that's coming through. I can't pick it up. My ears are not hearing it. There's too much sound. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for, overstimulated, but also my ears just can't hear it. So it's like being in a room and your fan and your TV are on loud, and your significant other's trying to talk to you. You're not going to hear them. You're going to hear everything else that's going on. So I was trying to figure out a way where I could hear and enjoy going investigating with everybody, because I couldn't use the spirit box. I wasn't able to use them. I would use it and look at everybody like, what's it saying? Like, did you hear something? I can't hear that. But it's made it really nice to like be able to hear it. And now I can hear it when I'm sitting at base and they're using it out in the field. I can be sitting at base watching the cameras, and I can hear it come through the cameras clear.
Yeah, the cameras pick it up a lot better than it does the SB7 by itself.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's nice also.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I'm glad we were able to figure out the H1N with the headphones and being able to live listen to the EVP sessions. Cause I mean, like Felicia said, I mean, she can't hear it like how we would hear it. So that gives her the upper hand. One, I mean, you can hear that live, which is awesome, but you know that there's something there, that's something that's going to need to have, reviewed. That
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great tool, and I'm glad we came across that, because it's golden.
And
It's the next one on my list.
I don't know if you've noticed or not some of the audio that you've been reviewing, Greg, but I've also gotten in the habit of, like, when we hear something, or like, for example, when Bobby said she heard something on the headphones, I was like, well, tag it, be like, go back prior to this and listen, like, to
Yeah.
kind of help you locate some of the things that we're hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Well,
you can just listen to it and hear somebody go, "Oh my goodness, something just blew in my ear."
Did that too.
Right. Yeah. But it's audio, man. I don't know. That's my thing. I love doing audio. There's nothing better than finding an EVP
Yeah.
in the recording. It's just, I mean, pictures are cool, video is cool, but the audio just, I don't know, it does something to me.
No, I agree, because I always like the part where you open up a WAV file and you're listening to it and you get to that flat line essentially. And you're like, most people would look at that and be like, there's nothing there.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Listen to those spots, because I'm here to tell you, I have found things in that silence
Mhm.
that just the waves are not detecting, but it's there.
Right.
And it's easy to miss that stuff, in my opinion.
Right.
Say hi to Sydney's kiddo. Hi, Munchkin. She's watching with mom.
That's funny.
We're gonna have junior investigators.
Right.
Speaking
And that's speaking of juniors. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that here in just a second.
Yes.
But we were talking about audio review and the sweeping with the Ghost Box and how terrible it is. You and I, Billy, had gone back and forth a couple times about, man, that's going to be so loud. I don't doubt we'll catch anything. I'm not going to listen to it. And I'm like, no, man, I got to listen to it. No, I'm not going to listen to it.
So painful to sit there and listen to that, though, that sweeping noise.
And then Felicia to save the day.
Right. Now, I did go through that audio, and there was a couple things out of the chaos that I was able to pull, but man,
it's hard.
I was like, yeah, like I said, I mean, the investigator in me was like, no, dude, you got to listen to it. There's no way around it. You have to listen to it and try to pull something out of it. So
that's probably the best way that I can explain my hearing to you guys, is like, listen to it on a recording of a spirit box, just like, just listen to that, and how you can't hear the difference in things. And then I'm just sitting here like,
right.
This is not fun anymore, guys. I can't enjoy what I'm enjoying.
Right. Now, on this investigation, we had an added feature, let's say. So we took the junior BIPS team out with us.
Yes, we finally.
And you guys,
a big one.
Yeah, guys, you want to tell everyone about that and how they did and what they were learning? And
so
let's start off by telling them their names, because
so basically, we took our junior team, which is a team of minor investigators who are closely supervised by ourselves and the senior leadership of the team. And we took them out, and throughout the night, we would take one by one, we'd take them in with us. And then Greg and I and Felicia got to talking, and we were like, and I think it was me even that brought it up initially. I was like, let's send them in, see if they've retained anything we've taught. Like, we know it's not a dangerous haunt. We've been here twice. Everything's fine. Like, let's cut them loose and, sink or swim type situation. And Greg's like, I don't know. And then
It was the best idea we could have ever come up with.
yes, like, I'm glad we did it. Like, I understand why Greg didn't want to do it, because we did have a little anger down in the basement. But
we didn't let him go to the basement.
we didn't let them go down there. We marked that as off limits and
kept them upstairs.
I mean, which I know what everybody is thinking. Everybody's like, well, do you really think that they can't come out of the basement? Like, we thought of that, but at least with them upstairs, they were close. It wouldn't take long for us to get in there and help.
They were like 10 feet. We're 10 feet from the door, so
right. Yeah, we were pretty close.
Hurry. So we had Gary, which is my son. He's the lead investigator. We had some new investigators, which was Jarek and Bobby and Finus's kids, which were
Isaiah and Dakota.
And then also the person that lived there, her niece was investigating with our group.
I'm terrible with names, so I can't remember the girl's name, even though she wasn't.
Madison. There we go. Madison.
That was it.
And
they called her Maddie.
I have to say, I would love to do just a bloopers reel, or like just, and to be honest, it wasn't even bloopers. It was like, they were good. They did amazing. Like, I was shocked at, like, they were asking good questions. They were in it, and all of them were in it. It wasn't like, one person standing off to the side just being quiet and just listening. It was like everybody was like interacting and talking with it and talking with whoever's there or whatever's there, or they wanted to play blackjack with it, or they wanted to, let's try this room. Let's try this room. You know what? It said it wants us to go back to this room. Let's go back to this room, and it was interesting to watch them, all interact and do good together. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I had a proud Papa Bear moment during that. Like, it's like all that training that we've taught. Gary's been with us for a while doing this and learning and whatnot. And then to put him into that leadership role and actually watch him lead that team. And I'll be honest, like, it almost felt like we were sitting there watching ourselves, like, to be completely honest with you. Like, and they were utilizing Deb and Greg's technique for EVP sessions where they were just having conversations instead of interrogating. Yes. They were talking about things they liked, talking about things that they think the spirit might like. And it just, I'm anxious to see what comes of those audio files, to be honest.
And to be honest, they used the pickles line. I like pickles. And I that
has become a staple.
It's become a staple now.
Right.
Like, we all ask that question now because for some reason we always get something from it. But do you like pickles?
Yeah.
And then something will come up and be like, I like pickles, like, it's been awesome. And then watching them like do it all too. And God, those kids are quick. Like, they're watching the cameras. They're sitting there watching the cameras. They're like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm like, did you see that? Like,
I almost looked at Greg and be like, let's just go home and let them have it. Like, they got this.
They got this.
Right. The yield of pickles is amazing to me.
Who doesn't like pickles? Like,
there's some people.
I mean,
then you'd still
get them out.
Oh yeah.
I love pickles.
But the last 3 investigations that we've been on, I've mentioned pickles and I've gotten a response for frickin' pickles. What the hell is that about?
I need to show Greg those pickle peanuts that I got.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
God.
Pickled peanuts.
Yeah, you don't.
Not like having pickled nuts.
I had dill pickle potato chips at Robbie's house last week.
Is the brand name?
Oh hell yeah!
Brand name.
What's the brand name?
D's Nuts. She picked them up off the shelf and showed them to me, and I just face palmed. I was like,
"Oh yeah, put them in the cart."
Yeah, get them.
I'm gonna eat them while we're at the investigation.
Oh God, Yahtzee ought to go in and offer the ghost
pickles,
a pickled nut. You want some of these pickled nuts?
Gotcha.
But
Oh
yeah,
my-
it was. I think the best part for me of the whole investigation, even the two times, was of course you had the pickle response, but when Finest and Billy were down in the basement and going over and looking at the structure of the basement, and you can hear an old man go, and this is kind of a twofer. I'll give you twofers before we actually put it out. The old man goes, "Who are they? Fuck them."
Mm,
They're talking crap about the structure of the basement. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oh man, he hated that. He was like, dude,
He was mad.
Well, I mean, I can
he
understand
was
that. Though.
pissed.
He built that house by hand.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
it is him there, I can understand him being like, "Fuck that guy!" Like,
Right?
I built this house. Like, I understand that, and it had tone to it too. That was the best.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And
We've
the other
got
one I
other
liked.
EVPs that where we got cussed out. We've
Oh
had
God,
those
yeah.
before.
Hell yeah. One of them called me a bitch. One of them called Corey a bitch.
One of them called you a dumbass.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was at the Rhodes. It was at the Rhodes Hotel. We were doing an EVP session and we're doing the spirit box, wasn't it? And we were all in a circle around the spirit box. It was in the middle of the floor. And Deb said something about me and I can't remember. Oh, my flashlight flipped out of my pocket. And the freaking voice, Deb's like, "Do you not like Greg?" And he's like, "He's a dumbass." What the hell? What did I do? I'm just sitting here, bro.
That sounds like what happened to me when we were at Davy's house and they messed with one of our people. And I went downstairs and I told it to leave. You know, I don't like, you know, don't bully our people. Don't do mean things to our people. And it called me every name under the sun. I mean, just
Right.
repetitively. And I was like, oh, everybody's hearing it. Say it to, you know, say it. And I'm deaf, so I can't hear it. So I'm just listening to them. Like, you know, they're like, Felicia's going off on this thing and it's telling her to go, you know, go somewhere with herself. And I'm like, oh no.
Go somewhere and do something.
Yeah. I'm trying to be good. And
Fill in
watch
the
my
blanks.
language. I'm trying
Right.
to watch my language because I'm a sailor.
Yeah, I don't have the boo boo button on this board. I'm gonna switch it out so I have the boo boo button later.
We're gonna have to
Because you know
We're going to have to make a special boo boo button for Billy.
we're gonna have to have the easy button, but have boo boo on it on his vest when he does investigations. Because he'd be like, "Son of a beep, you." Beep.
You know, I'm just gonna start getting good and start censoring myself. What the you talking about?
I've done that.
Everyone on the video watching the video is gonna be like, "What the? What?"
Why does it keep stopping?
Why does it keep
Yeah.
blanking out when there's no words?
Their audio is jacked.
That'll be the first complaint we
Right.
get.
Yeah, you know that's right. But I like one of the other EVPs that we got from this house, and it kind of shocked me. Is it was Finest, Bobby, and Billy in Grandpa's room, and they were talking about something, and the old man said something about, "Can we have shots now?" and then a giggle after that, like, and I was like, okay.
I think he was mad because they were talking about the foundation, and then I think he was like, "All right, we're playing cards. Let's have fun." Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm better. We can play cards now. You know.
You know, the disturbing thing about the investigation, I thought, was it was trying to lure people to the basement.
Yeah.
That was
Not just the junior team, because on the audio you can hear it say basement like 100 times, and the kids are like, "You said you want us to go to the basement? We can't go to the basement." It would say basement again. And even with the adult investigators in the house, it felt like it was trying to pull us down into the basement itself.
And that's kind of what happened to me when I first walked on site. When we pulled up, I literally went straight into the medium investigation. I didn't stop to say hi to nobody or nothing. It was just like I went straight in. We walked around the front, the top floor for a second, and then all of a sudden I'm like, nope, I need to go to the basement. And mind you, I've never been in this house before in my life. And I just beeline straight to the basement door. And it's not in a normal place where a basement door should be.
No.
Like it's kind of interesting where it's
I
placed.
thought that was a pantry when I first saw it.
You thought it was pantry.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, I beeline, went straight to the basement door, opened it up, and went down the stairs. And Greg's just like,
how did she know where that was?
how did she know where
Like,
that
how the hell?
was? And I was like, wanted me to go down here.
Right.
So it calls you down there.
It does. And it plays hide and seek throughout the house. And I think it
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
100% is set in stone to take you to the basement. The basement is the epicenter, I think, of this house.
And you guys went, right?
Oh,
Every
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Any good investigator would.
what
Right.
did you
I'll
did
go
you catch anything?
That's where we got that crazy orb. That's where that crazy orb is in the
Okay.
basement. Like, and the crazy part about it is, as I told you, it stopped and it turned
Yeah.
right. The person that it like ran up on was the other interesting part that Greg and I were thinking about, because it was Finest. Finest was standing there, just kind of looking around, and this thing shoots across the screen like quick as all get out, and then just puts on the brakes right in front of Finest. Stands there like almost like it's looking at him, mean mugging him, and then turns and walks off screen. Like, it's crazy. Like, I was like, whoa.
I don't think it liked Finest that night.
No.
No, not at all.
He had to talk about the foundation.
That's his job, though.
That is his job.
And that's, yeah, it was having none of that. He straight up was F you, buddy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But,
He's like, my foundation might be cracked, but it's still good.
right? Like, I don't know who the hell you think you are talking that shit about my basement.
You heard
I'm
what
gonna
I
run
told
up on
you,
you.
didn't you?
Oh, what'd you tell him?
Okay, so we were down in the basement setting up cameras, and we hadn't started recording anything yet. Didn't have an audio recorder on me, nothing.
Oops. My bad. I was uploading that video with the orb.
Oh, no, you're fine. And so I'm sitting there talking to Finest, and he had started to say something about the carbon fiber tape that was on the walls that they'd put there to fill in some of those cracks. And I look at Finest and I go, dude, you are not allowed to talk about construction until I get a recorder.
Yeah.
He was also the one that sat in phantom water.
Yeah.
There was water on a couch that shouldn't have been there. And then we went and looked everywhere to see where it was leaking from, and there was no leak.
It wasn't there before we started.
It wasn't there before we started.
Right.
It wasn't raining outside. There was nothing there was nothing. And then you just see him stand up and turn, and his butt's wet. It was hilarious because it shows so well.
Swap pass all night.
He secretly peed a little, I think.
Right. All right. So I brought up that video from our YouTube page, and I believe it's the right video. If not, then
It looks
It
like
looks
the right
like
one.
it is.
it's par for the course. So watch this, Deb. Watch it close. Here we go.
It's gonna be kind of middle school.
My name's Billy.
My name's Bobby.
There's Bobby down there on the floor.
Hi, my name's Frank.
Did you hear that talk?
No, I think you're hearing the audio that they've got on the thing over there, because every time you say you hear somebody talk, I can hear it with my ears.
Yeah.
I think it's that, so we can debunk that. What we'll do to see if we can combat that is we'll put some headphones in up there, because or something, because that's loud enough that we can hear it down here.
Can you go in front of the music box? And it was like at 5:08.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
you
did.
could.
Yeah, it's not that one.
I saw a little bit.
I
So-
seen the
I can
initial
actually
one.
see
But the one that we're looking for
Right.
is going to be almost mid-screen, and it's going to be at about 5 minutes and 8 seconds in.
All right, there you go. So basically, for you guys to check that out, I'm going to put a link up in the chat room so you guys can see it. You can go over to the Boonville, Indiana Paranormal Society YouTube page.
Oh, yeah.
.com/@ SOCI. So it's Boonville, Indiana Paranormal SOCI, because they didn't let me have enough characters to.
They said that's enough.
That's
That's
it.
too much.
Right. There we go. It's scrolling across the bottom of the page now. But go out there. There's 3 episodes out there right now for the Nightmare on Cherry Street playlist. There's going to be probably 4 more of this series, and then there's probably going to be 8 to 9, possibly 10 videos of the second investigation on this location. So there's going to be a lot to come, a lot of video for you guys to watch and watch what we do and why we do and how we do and do.
And the way we
Do.
is it's unedited. Like, we don't doctor anything. What you see is how we recorded it. We don't go through and we don't Hollywood anything up. The most that we might do is add some background musics for some ambiance, and that's about
Right.
it. Like, I mean, everything is raw footage.
I mean,
Mhm.
page, and we're on an investigation. I live stream the entire investigation. So you're there with us in the camera room, basically, where
Command
we're
center.
we're in command center and we're watching all the cameras. So you see, like for instance with the cat, you could see the music box going off, the motion music box, and everybody else is in another part of the house. You could see them in the kitchen, and you're like, there's nobody else in that room. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's great, and a lot of people really love watching it live.
I do.
Yeah.
I was really tickled. I came in and out a bunch of times that night.
It's fun.
It
There's
is.
enough
And
there.
right. Well,
we-
I mean,
Go ahead, Greg.
I can come and get you and bring you on investigations, right? Because
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
knows I ain't letting your ass drive, but I'll come and get you.
There's one on the 20th.
There is one on the
There
20th.
is. Ah,
I don't know. I might be out of town that day.
so
I got some things in the work I can't really talk about, but you'll find out about it.
Oh.
I do want to say this, like, on our live feeds, to anybody who may be interested in watching that, we pay attention to what you say too.
Oh yeah.
That gets wrote down and it goes in for evidence review, and we go back and we look at what you saw. All we need you to do is tell us what quadrant of what camera, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, or center, and then a timestamp. You give us that information and we will definitely check it out. And, we'll probably even going to give you a shout out on our page, like, hey, good catch, if it turns out to yield something.
Yeah. Because we've had some phenomenal people that have seen stuff that just would, oh my goodness. I'm not going to say her name, but she comes on and she watches us a lot. And she was able to tell when something was moved in the room by an inch.
Mm-hmm.
She was 100% right.
And she was right. I had moved it, but she knew that it was moved. She was good. So
I think the camera lagged out a little bit and it
Yeah.
didn't catch that move initially.
yeah, because I had moved some stuff out of the way so I could put the EMF meter right there, and by the time she got to see it, everything was moved, but the EMF meter wasn't there. So she was like, "Oh, that moved. That moved. Check back at it."
Check on it. Yeah. See, it's good to have, the third, fourth, fifth eye when you're doing investigations like that. I mean, it helps out so much, especially with the evidence review, knowing, okay, these specific points I have to look at this timestamp, at what was going on. to have somebody look at that. Oh, that's dusty. Sorry. To look at that and be like, go check this out, and us finding something. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
It really
the more
is.
eyes, the better.
Well, it makes everybody else at
Right.
home an investigator too. Because there's some
Right.
people who can't get out there and do what we're doing or don't have the means to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
not everybody can afford to throw that kind of money into equipment too.
Yeah.
Like, so
equipment is so expensive. So it's nice to have, other people that like to do what we do.
Yeah, people don't understand. You don't charge folks for
No.
coming in to do this.
never ever.
And then you got to pay for your gas
Yep.
to
Yes.
get there and get back. Can't do an investigation
Batteries.
without coffee and some
Drinks,
snacks,
food,
drinks, stuff like that.
um,
So it's an expensive.
It
can
really
get expensive.
let me put it this way. For our team, it's like around $160 for pizza. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of money. And that's not even including gas, because I'm going to tell you right now, our team cannot fit in one car. So we have to take about 3 to 4 cars. And we
Mhm.
do buddy it up, but there's a lot of cars going.
Mhm.
So that adds up. But I wouldn't have it any
It
other way.
does.
Yeah,
No.
it's worth every penny.
It's worth
It is.
every penny.
to me, the biggest gratification of the whole thing is when, like, for instance, our homeowner in this last investigation approached us and said, thank you for helping me feel more at ease. Like, that's what it's about. That right
Yeah.
there.
Yep. For sure.
I think
And of course, okay.
I think my favorite part about it is also like finding undeniable proof, like finding stuff that's like very, very like, and learning about the scientific stuff in it too, because I think I had mentioned before, like infrasound and learning about EMF waves and how much it messes with you and like all that kind of stuff. That stuff intrigues me. And then learning to build equipment, like I've really enjoyed doing that besides being, a medium, because I always joke with everybody. I tell them like being a medium's a curse, but getting to do other stuff like with the scientific part. And I'm hoping that later on in the future, I will be able to get in with the schools and have, part of their, the kids doing the junior stuff, them volunteering with us, us being able to report it to them and be like, look, we taught them about EMF readings. We taught them about infrasound. We taught them about, how cameras work, and they can use that to benefit them later on in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And
Sorry, our sugar gliders are barking.
what is that?
The sugar gliders are barking.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're
Aw.
raising
What-
Cain.
They're getting
What's
ready.
a sugar glider?
It's like a squirrel
Oh,
with wings. Well, sort of. They have like little webbing on their arms and they can glide.
Kind of like a flying squirrel.
Yeah, flying squirrel.
Oh.
go show her. Go get it. Go get it.
Okay. Get
I
me.
got to see him.
No.
Yeah, get
And
me.
speaking of equipment, I've got a couple things in the works as well that we're going to get together and collab on as a team and put together a REM pod, custom make a REM pod for us.
Yes.
I've got a music box that somebody wants the Nightmare on Christmas song on.
I don't know why. I just
Me too.
love that.
So I found the inner workings to make that happen.
Nice.
Let me see her bunny.
So
Look, Deb. That's the sugar gliders bunny. She has her.
That's cute.
Hold on, let me see. Come here, Nico baby. Come say hi. Here. I don't know whether you'll be able to see. She's so tiny.
Oh my goodness.
She turned around like, don't
She
put me
turned
on
around.
camera.
She's like, "Don't put me
yeah,
on."
she turned her butt to you. Yeah.
So
She's-
tiny.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that sweet face. Hi, sweetie.
She's so sweet. She's a good
Oh
girl.
my goodness. I love critters. All kinds.
Right.
You got to come down here then because I got a house full.
That is so precious. Oh my God.
Because my daytime job is working with animals. So,
Oh my. I couldn't do that because I'd want to bring everybody home and Dave would
You
have
know
a
that's
cow.
right.
hey, Greg. Hey, Greg. What about my spiders?
Yeah, fuck
Oh.
that.
Yeah, no. I don't want to kill
Look, I love y'all.
I catch them in my little red cup and I
have
take
the
them
world's
outside.
I have the world's
Aren't
largest
these-
spider.
That's what I'm saying. And you have a spider that will do a WWE body slam on me, and I don't.
Yeah, she's so when she's full size, she'll be 13 inches from leg tip to leg tip. She's about the size of my face now.
Approximately.
Is she a
What kind of spider?
Yes, she is a tarantula. She's called a Theraposa sturmi, which is a Goliath bird eater.
Damn.
Go look it up one day. It's like
Just
it's
no.
It's a dinner plate.
No.
It's a dinner plate.
I am not looking that shit up.
I am not a fan of spiders.
And you thought the paranormal was scary. Come to my house. I got
My
like
buddy.
balls.
Shit. Yeah, she's got snakes and shit around the corner, and they're like, yeah, they're just around. I'm like, that's why my fat ass don't go around your corner. I sit right here on your couch.
Yeah,
I love all critters, and I'm sure that your spider is a sweetheart.
no,
But
no. No, they're for a look. They're not for a touch. Trust and believe. I have a couple that you can touch.
trust and believe. I wouldn't be touching
Oh, he's
them.
angry. He's angry.
Like we can find stuff in this house, but like
Mm-mm.
I have some interesting stuff. I have like the most poisonous scorpions in the United States, which is the Arizona bark scorpions.
Why?
Thank you.
Okay, so we got the ones and nobody knew how to handle them, and I did.
I
'Cause
have
I'm from
no
Arizona.
authority in my house. I just live here.
Oh, Lordy, I'd be scared to go to
Yeah,
sleep.
but you get sweet little things like this, and you're like,
That is sweet.
"Oh."
Yeah.
There's
Little furry things that don't kill you when they bite you are sweet.
Yeah.
when you come by,
Little furry things.
they're sick
Aw.
here, so you can come visit
Yeah,
anytime.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
But when they're furry and they bite you and you die,
Spiders and
yeah,
scorpions.
I gotta
Mm,
draw on the line. Well, scorpions aren't really hairy, are they? Do they have
No.
hair?
They got a little bit of on their legs. They have a little bit, but not really.
And that's more to
What
feel
do
the
they
vibration
eat?
of the animals around them, and they
Oh,
kill
this
what,
is a
like,
whole other show.
right?
No, I'm sorry.
No,
It's
no,
not-
No, you're
I
good.
love it. What do
This
they
is
eat?
what
What do
we're
scorpions eat?
Other bugs. So I feed them roaches or mealworms.
Small
Now, are they considered bugs?
Yes, they're an arachnid. They're a part of the spider family. 'Cause
Okay, that's what I thought.
Spider with a stinger.
yeah, spider with a.
Mm.
So if it is
Not only.
It's like a lobster, crab, and a
Look,
bee and a baby.
Let's hold on for a fucking second here. Hold the phone. It is a snake or a spider that has a stinger. That's two things that I really don't care for, and I don't want to die.
It literally is like a lobster, a spider, and a bee had a baby. Like,
Damn.
what is this
You gotta throw a lobster into that
brought
mix.
into my
Oh,
house?
shit.
Why did nature make that? Jesus.
But hey, it's part of my job.
Kill it with fire.
I love my job. I get to work with some amazing animals and some amazing people. And then on the side, I get to play with spirits and hang out with some of my best friends.
That's cool.
That's really cool, interesting places. And then all the history that we learn is amazing too about different places.
Mm-hmm.
Have
there's-
you looked at some of the couple of things that I've been posting in the chat and on the BIPS Facebook page?
Mm-hmm.
I do, but I don't ever click on them because I don't want to learn anything about them.
In case we
because-
ever
Right,
in case we ever go, I don't want to click and look. So I'm like,
right. There's a, and I won't give any of it away, but there's a Masonic temple,
You
Yeah.
yes,
yes,
all that.
I saw that.
Ohio. It's like 5.5 hours away from us. I think we need to try to reach out to them and try to put something together because it was built in 1861.
Well, we did get to go to that one, but I can't like
Right.
put names out there of like where it's at because it's still functioning. Masonic School, but that one was amazing too, and all the history behind it and seeing everything.
Right.
Amazing.
And I also put out the Conjuring House information.
Oh, that's gonna happen. That's happening.
Yeah.
We just gotta. I'm telling you, that's gonna happen.
We're gonna
For
see
sure.
who
Yeah.
wants to go, and then just divide it up between the ones that want to go.
The however many of it.
Yeah.
I think you can have up to 8.
Because I'm in
Yeah.
on that.
I think anything over 10 people is $160 a head.
Okay, I thought I saw 8, but
Yeah, you might had. I can't remember exactly now. And I've looked at so many places. I also looked. See, it was the Conjuring House, and there was one other place.
It was the Abbey from The Nun. Was the other one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, in Connecticut.
Yeah,
You guys find the Abbey from the Nun?
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we go? Can I go sit?
I
in the
don't.
lawn?
That's not in the U.S.
That is in the UK.
It's over.
That
in the
is, yeah. But there's a couple places that I got my eye on in Connecticut, up in Rhode Island area that there might be a good possibility for. But I mean, the Conjuring House. I've actually talked to Andrea Perrin on the show many moons ago. Great person, good interview.
I met her when I was in Michigan last year, and we
Yeah,
kind of clicked. So we can always get her back on.
hell yeah. Well, we'll move to do that.
I'd love to do that. Just
I would
at
love
least
to
just
pick
to meet
her, just to pick her
brain.
brain and to talk to her about some of the things that she's experienced. That would be interesting to hear it from the
Heck,
actual person.
Yeah, and also, heck, just talk to her as a normal person, because
Right.
I know it probably sucks being like, oh, I'm a relative, or I'm one of the people that was in this house, and now it's blasted all over the internet. Just it was the same when we met Jason Hawes. Like, I walked up to him and I was like, "You got dinner plans? Like, you want to go to dinner with us?" Because I was like, you probably hear paranormal stuff all the time.
True story did that. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
But
my wife just asked Jason Hawes out on a date. Like,
not a date. But I was like, you want to go to dinner with us? I would have had Greg go with us. Greg would have jumped in and he'd be like, let's go. Like,
Let's roll.
yeah, let's go. But he had dinner plans already. And then, I think they had a get together with all the people that were.
I think you shocked the oops. Hold on a second. Technology sucks.
We can see you. I was gonna say
There we go.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We never lost you.
Oh,
Yeah, we never-
man.
Oh, he can't hear us. Hey, Debbie's gone. What do you want to talk about?
Hold on, I got to change my headset.
Yeah. Too late.
It wasn't technology. My headset died. My earphones died. It's just like, no, we're not working anymore. Screw you.
Deb, stop. Don't talk about him. He's in the room. He's back.
When
Talk
I hit the
amongst
lottery,
yourselves.
when I hit the lottery, I'm buying a great big ass Winnebago that we can haul the whole team around the country in comfort and style.
Oh,
So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm hoping that, like, I had a family member pass away, and we were from another country originally, and so there's some stuff going on over there. I'm dealing with some land courts right now, and hopefully that'll be within the next couple years be decided. But getting that figured out and everything, and I wouldn't mind. That's what my plan is to buy a tour bus and then put our logos on it, and then us go travel a few places and go look at some other stuff, because I would like to, go to Massachusetts and go to Pennsylvania and go to different places.
I want to go to Salem. I want to go to Gettysburg. Gettysburg is my number one bucket list right now.
And also, I want to do at least 1 or 2 trips where we go to the UK, because I would like to go to some of the places where Father Amorth did his work.
yeah.
Because hands down, one of my favorite exorcist his father-in-law because he believed that, laughter
It was a weapon.
was a weapon. And so if he would make jokes at the devil, basically, and he would laugh about it. And he said laughter is the cure to it all. So I would love to go see some of the places that he's been, and actually done some of his stuff, because he's created a lot of books that are now pretty famous.
And I want to go to a castle.
Absolutely.
I would love to spend the night in a castle.
There's a castle in Loveland, Ohio.
Well, there's Preston Castle in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there is a castle in Kentucky, but I'll have to find out the name of it.
Now, are we talking like real castles? Or?
Yes.
I'm talking like a big old, Irish.
You're talking about getting on a plane and going to Ireland and going through a castle there.
Yeah, let's
or
go
one
see
of those German Transylvanian castles,
Yeah.
Oh,
Go to Vlad's Castle. Go to Vlad's Castle.
I would do that.
Hands down.
I would do that, but you guys would have to carry me because, from what I understand, it's very steep.
And a lot of steps.
And my big ass broke leg ain't gonna be able to walk that. Maybe you can just drone drop me in or something.
So they have because I'm disabled. Greg, we know you're a little wonky sometimes too, but there's these wheelchairs that are off-road. You can go upstairs, you can go up anything, and they're cheaper than regular. It's by
really?
Yeah, they only sell them for like $3,000
only.
Well, okay, so if you look at other mobility wheelchairs, they're up into the $6,000 and $7,000 mark. So they're trying. This company is. I'll try to send you the link, but they're trying to make them as cheap as possible and make it to where anybody can go anywhere, because there's so many places that we don't get to go because we can't traverse crazy places.
Right. That's right. But Valeska House as well. I got to get there.
That's happening.
I there's just an aching in my loins to get there.
Oh God.
We don't want to hear about it.
We heard loins.
Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Loins with pickles. Pickled nuts and loins.
Greg.
Hello, Wall.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Right.
I've come to speak with you again.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places. There's a lot of Kentucky places which surprise me because I've been looking around. Of course, Waverly, it's in Kentucky as well, and they make me mad.
I just question how much it's so overstimulated there because so many people. It's 24/7. They're open every day. I think there's no break. How much are you going to get, and how much of it's going to be worth anything? So, no, I'm not saying that it's a bad place to go. I'm just saying, as a paranormal team investigator,
freaking hiccups.
I question it.
Well, I would guess that we would yield more on the grounds than we probably would in the hospital.
So
honestly,
I did find this out. So somebody was mentioning something about the Indiana State Sanatorium. I don't remember who had mentioned it, but somebody had mentioned that only one of the buildings is open now.
Central State down in Indy.
Yeah.
No, the sanatorium in Rockport.
Yeah. Somebody said that only the main building is open. You can't get into anything else there anymore because
that's false.
That is false because I looked at them as well. And if you rent it out, you get full reign of the full facilities and the grounds.
Now it's
like,
let's go.
You're completely right about that, Greg. But I think they do have it set to investigate at your own peril type situation.
Yes.
Signing a waiver.
It is.
Probably
just like anywhere.
Probably need gas masks to go in there. Probably
some of the places I would guess you would. I think you're right on that one.
Because of asbestos, because think about how old those buildings are. The
Right.
perils of being a paranormal investigator. Nobody thinks about this.
Oh, I brought masks all the time. Remember when we went to the Crump? I went there.
That's
I
something
went
we
there
never
twice.
invested in.
Yeah, it's something we haven't invested in.
Yeah.
We probably ought
Well,
to.
yeah, you really should, because in some of those basements, there's a lot of mold spores and dust. I have to do it because I'm allergic to mold spores. Anytime I go into an old house like that, I always have them with me. This was even before COVID, and they were readily available. I still had a bunch of N95 masks because that's what I used them for: mowing the grass and paranormal investigation.
She's allergic to mold.
I'm allergic to the world, man.
She also wore the mask.
I was the health and safety person from our group, Paranormal Underground, and for MRIPA. So I brought the spider bite kit, the first aid kit, the demon scratching kit.
I swear that's kind of what I do, because I have like this big, huge bag that I bring now that has I've even got omeprazole in there if you got acid reflux. I've got Tylenol, aspirin. I've got Mucinex in there just in case.
Oh, I brought Benadryl, and of course the masks.
And, you got some tummy problems. You can't go potty. I got stool softeners in there. I've got everything in there because I was like, you never know what to go into or deal with when you're there.
Yeah.
Hey, Felicia, come here. I got to talk to you a second. I can't take a poop. I need the Mucinex.
I know what Mucinex is for.
I don't think that one's gonna work.
I think that's more for the other end, the Greg.
Yeah, that's good.
I do think if you're going to have a paranormal group, I think it's good to have somebody in charge of that, because you really need that when you have a group of people together and you're going into some questionable places. Some that may be old and kind of tore up. Somebody could step on a nail.
Yeah.
So that was me. They called me Mama Deb for a reason.
When
I was also 20 years older than everybody else too. So.
When we originally started,
Put your hand down, Grandpa.
when we originally started, we had somebody that had we originally had somebody that was, our CPR certified, and we had somebody that was in school. Yeah, we had all of that. And then, and this is another thing that's big about paranormal that I've noticed is there's a lot of turnover rate, which stinks, because people get in and they don't realize what they're getting into, and
how boring it can be.
Either they get bored because there's no evidence, or they get scared when there is. Yeah. And it's almost like if you're a seasoned investigator, you come in and you could see when it's going to happen. You're like, oh, this one's not going to take it.
Right.
Well, this one's done. It stinks to say it, but you get one good scare and some of these people will just run out. But I'm the weird one. I'm like, oh, you're scared of that place? I'm going to go sit in there in the dark by myself with headphones on. And I'm not even, which was one of our best audios that we caught was the thing coming down out of the Davies house.
Yeah.
It came down out of the crawl space and stepped down on the chair and then got down. And I had my headphones on playing music. I couldn't hear it. Mm-hmm. Because everybody, we had people that were complaining. They're like, I'm not going in the basement. I'm scared of the basement. I'm like, watch me go sit on the wall that you guys are scared of. Let me go. I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go where you're scared, and I'm going to show you that there's nothing. And then we get that audio, and everybody's like, see. And I'm like, but it didn't hurt me. That's the thing. It might have ran past me. You didn't even know
it happened.
Yeah, not until later. Not until later when we found the audio that everybody was like, see, something did happen. I was like, yeah, but I didn't get hurt. I didn't get anything. You guys got good evidence. That's what you got.
And that's the thing that separates the thrill seekers and the serious investigators. Mm-hmm. It's, a serious investigator is going to run towards whatever it is, or the team of three, being part of a team of three and being in the floor and having a hard time standing up and just yelling at the other guys, go, 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 go. I'll catch up. But there's no running. Yeah, that happened. That's a true story. Shut up.
Nobody likes you.
Nobody likes you.
I was gonna say that's one of our biggest rules with BIPS is there is no running.
Not away
Right.
from anyway.
Yeah, like
Right.
You want to briskly walk toward.
you want to briskly walk towards or briskly walk away, maybe. But there's no running because you could trip. It's dark. I wish I could like get this through people's heads. Like you see it on the screen as being bright. It looks so bright and pretty, right? We're in pitch dark. If I was to take my phone out and take a picture without flash, there would be nothing. You wouldn't even nothing. You wouldn't see nothing. You wouldn't even see a shadow. So like when we're down there, say somebody's chair's just sticking out just a little too far and you're running.
Treadmill.
Treadmill. You're going to hit that and you're going to, and then you might need stitches.
I tripped over a treadmill in this last investigation, dropped the F-bomb while recording for YouTube. I was like, man.
Yours is the only voice that I had to edit out of all those videos for.
Hey, so everybody listened, just not me.
Right. Yeah.
Like my own damn.
I was all right. Yeah, it was the spirit.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It was a ghost.
It wasn't. Well, it was the.
It was the
spirit
doppelganger behind the camera.
Oh, no, it's probably like, okay, so with me, I'll be inside the house and I don't cuss, but I come outside and I'm in break area, camera area. Facebook probably hates me because I probably cussed so many times, but
there was so much profanity in that live feed from everybody in that room that night.
It's good thing monetizing off of that.
right. But what's funny is the homeowner was just as bad.
Oh yeah,
she's great. Deb, you'd love her.
Was the homeowner related to this alleged spirit that was mad that the guy who built the house? Was there a relation?
She was the wife of the son of that guy, I believe.
Okay, so that was her father-in-law.
It was a marital relation, father-in-law. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
great grandfather, or no, father-in-law and grandfather.
Yeah.
Did she?
And father.
Sometimes when you catch EVPs, they actually sound like the person that passed away, and then other times it just takes whatever energy or sounds around it in order to manifest. Did she hear the EVPs yet? Have you?
We haven't got to do a reveal with her yet because we hadn't quite finished our audio for the first investigation when we went back for our second follow-up. So we're actually going to be putting together a reveal with her, but I'm curious to see if she recognizes the voice at all.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I've had instances where when we've done the reveal, the people have said, "Oh, that's my grandmother," or "Oh, that's Uncle blah blah," or whatever. Recognize them immediately. One time we had a whole family break down in tears at the sound of the voices again that they, thought were long gone.
Yeah, a voice that they haven't heard in 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there was something there. So there was one person that was there this time. There wasn't so much there last time. And I asked if they were there. And it was her dad. And of course her dad is passed. And I asked if he was there and if there was anything he wanted to say. And I'm hoping that when we review that audio and we give that to her, because we did get answers. I'm not going to give out any of the answers, but we did get answers. No spoilers. But we did get answers. But I'm hoping that, maybe there is a tone to it that she can hear and be like, that's who it is. But then we also got a female tone and we have no clue where that even came from.
Oh, she said she thinks she knows exactly who that is.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and she said that that person wasn't very nice.
Yeah. So
and the EVP basically said that
with attitude, with
attitude,
conviction and attitude were definitely in that EVP. I heard it, and
yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. So things coming up for BIPS here in June. We are going to the Rhodes Hotel, and we won't talk about really any of the definite hauntings, since we're going to send Felicia in first, have
Thank
her
you.
walk the location, have her walk the location, get a feel for it and what she pulls. And then the rest of us will be going in, and Deb will be with us that night. And
Yay!
we'll be going live
Yeah.
on Facebook on the
Yep.
Facebook. Not I said that funny. I don't know why it sounded funny. Facebook Live on the Boonville, Indiana Paranormal
It's the
Society
teeth.
Facebook page. It is, man. I need to do some Dremel work myself, I think. Jesus. It doesn't help that my face droops because of the stupid nerve thing, but yeah.
We're also going
Get
to be
the
doing probably a parade here in our
Hmm.
local town. We're going to be doing a parade here in September, and then
Mhm.
we have an investigation on the 20th.
And then yeah, we have an investigation northwest on the 20th. Should yield some pretty good stuff. I think it's going to be good, and I need to reach out to that guy this week. Remind me to do that.
I got you.
We've got the website up. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen there, bipspara.org. And you guys go over there, check it out. Some of the pages are still under construction, so bear with me. We need to get headshots of everyone and put it on there. But if you click on their name or the BIPS logo above their name, it'll take you to their bio page. You guys can check out their bios. The sponsor partner page is up. We'll be adding sponsors and some more partners to that page.
You can also
We're gonna
message
have
any of us.
yeah.
You can, if you want
Yeah.
to message us individually, you can message us individually. Like if you want to talk to a certain investigator, you can message them and ask them questions, and we're here to answer them. We don't, and again, we don't charge for any of this.
100% free.
Like you want to ask medium questions, come ask them. If you want to ask what it's like to run a paranormal society, you can ask Billy or get 25 years of experience from Greg. Like, come ask it. It's
Oh
there,
yeah. I will talk your ear off about some paranormal stuff.
right?
That's no
and
Greg and I will sit on the phone all day long and just hash things up. Like it's unreal.
oh, we had a cool discussion this today.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, we were talking about paranormal investigation and demonic presence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I fell down the Conjuring House rabbit hole and stuff about Ed and Lorraine and that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
I used to think so. And I think, Billy and I are kind of on the same page now where we're a little disappointed in some of the things that have come to light about the Warrens.
Yep.
Stuff that you wouldn't have actually thought was really real. But I mean,
I hate to see it as myself because I really looked up to Lorraine Warren. I really did. I'm a medium and I saw her on other shows and I would see her and I was like, man, I could relate to this person, and then finding out, because I found out before a lot of the information because I was just researching themselves because I fell down the rabbit hole when 28 Days came out.
yeah.
28 Days Haunted. Because I was like, ooh, what's this? I would love to do this. And then fell down the rabbit hole of, Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I had liked them before that. And now I'm like, oh man.
It makes you question.
It makes me question everything. And which we'll never get answers because, they're both deceased now and stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, that sucks. But
the one definitive answer we did land on, though, is that, no matter how the rest of it came out, the fact of the matter is he did help pave the way for a lot of the paranormal research and stuff that has happened. Him and Lorraine both.
I do give
so they do have still a big footprint in the paranormal world, and for that they have my undying respect. So
I mean, they opened doors for a lot of us paranormal investigators that would never be open right now if it wasn't for them.
Right.
Because heck, most of the time when you talk about you're a paranormal investigator, people think you're crazy. Oh, you hunt ghosts? No, I don't hunt ghosts. I investigate them. I talk to them. I want to know, what's going on.
Yeah, my containment system's out of commission, so we don't do any hunting.
Yeah, right.
I had the paranormal investigation chat with the chiropractor a week ago before we went on this last investigation. He was full of questions. He's popping my back asking me about ghosts, but I don't care to tell him, man. You know, when you get as old as I am, or, you know, as young as Deb is, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't give a shit what you believe. You know, it is what it is. And that's like, you know, that's what I told the junior investigators. One of the things that I told them was our job is not to make Joe Blow or Sally Q believe. Your job is to present them the information and the evidence that we have gathered, and you let them make up their own mind. If they think it's wackadoodle, then they think it's wackadoodle. It's no, you can't take offense to that. It is what it is.
Right. And
you know,
we say that a lot about the posts and stuff that people make on Facebook and things. Is like, I don't care if you don't think it's real or if you think that it was faked. You know, that's fine. You are entitled to your opinion. The only thing that I ask is that you respect everybody else's opinion too. And you know, if you have a negative opinion, just keep it to yourself. Like, don't try to come and blast people, because you're not helping anything. All you're doing is presenting negativity, and we don't like that. We don't deal with that.
Right. And if we have to, you're going to walk away crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love going to a location and somebody being a complete non-believer, skeptic. Heck, Finest joined the team. He was like, I do not believe in any of this.
We break non-believers here.
Because within the first investigation, Finest was like, his mind was blown.
Yeah.
Like,
he was 100% vested at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian was the same way.
His kids are the same. Finest's kids are the same way. Finest's kids, when they, you know, because they were doing the junior team thing, like, they were like, why is the music box going off? Like, there's no reason
it shouldn't be doing that.
It shouldn't be doing that. Like,
yeah,
because they've
we
got
know.
to test them out. We're like, we know. And they're like, there's something here. And we're like, yeah, talk to it.
Right.
Tell it thank you. You know, appreciate, you know, and, you know, appreciate that it showed itself to you. So.
Right. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. Like I said, I mean, it's never been, and it took me a while to get to that stage in the paranormal field where I was trying to look what I got. This is real. This is real. This is real. To this is what I got. Make up your own mind. If it's, you know, it's okay if you don't believe at that point too.
Yeah.
But my old man was a full skeptic until I showed him my evidence for Mansfield. And after that, he was a full on believer.
That's a bucket list.
You know,
that's a bucket list place right there.
It is probably the most haunted place that I've ever stepped foot in. And it is so worth checking out.
Even if we have to do it as a public tour, dude, it's tempting.
Well, you know, it's like $3,100 for 30 people. And the reason that they say 30 people is because the place is so significantly big.
Oh, it's massive.
I mean,
you're never going to trample each other.
No, it's 200 yards of freaking cells, 6 stories high. Not to mention that the atrium is probably about 50 yards, so half a football field around in the center. So 2.5 football fields long, 6 stories high.
So, how are we going to get around that, Greg?
How are we going to get around what?
How are we going to get when we investigate this place? How are me and you going to get around in this place? Because I'm going to tell you right now, 6 stories of stairs is not happening.
And make Greg pack his magic carpet. That's what we're going to do.
I am good for probably 3 tiers, because the third tier is the main atrium where the main control units were.
Okay.
I've never been any higher than that, but it was under construction the last time I was there, and they've completed that in construction. But the just plenty of flashlights and plenty of batteries, and we'll take one step at a time because I want to go up.
I would love to take you guys to a location that's really cool that I went to before when I was a little younger girl. Like my dad did sheetrock in Arizona, so he got to do a lot. Like 90% of Arizona, he's got to sheetrock. So there is a courthouse right in the middle of downtown Phoenix, and upstairs in it was the jail. There was no AC units. There was like metal beds, and there's still a noose hanging in there to this day. Like,
what is the name of the place?
It's the courthouse right there, like the old courthouse in downtown Phoenix. Because my dad took me in it because we were going around in it because he was doing the sheetrock, and there's like these secret passages you can go through the courthouse, which is weird. And he was like, look at this. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But then when we went upstairs, he's like, these are the jail cells. And it would be like 120 degrees in the summer. And there would be inmates that were put in these jail cells. And you could see the lines like carved into the walls and stuff. But we had like, of course, my family doesn't believe in a lot of that stuff. But while we were there, it was hair on end. You felt like things were just like staring you down. It was eerie. It was eerie as a child. It was eerie.
Has Taps or the Ghost Brothers been there? Because I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what's funny? You're gonna laugh at this, but I don't watch a lot of paranormal shows per se anymore. I watched Zach Bag. I know you're looking at me, but I've also had to stop even more recently because I'm a medium for the team. So if we go to any of these places that are on these shows, I'm no longer viable. So I don't get the pleasure of watching these shows anymore. I think I watched one Ghost Brothers, and it was them on a plantation, which was hilarious in itself. But
the work of a miracle, to be honest with you, because how in goodness gracious his name did you get a black man to go to to go to a plant? And even I think even they say that on there. Like, what are we even doing here?
No, I think the part that I laugh about is when they open their box for like their equipment.
They're great.
And their equipment box is like
huge
and busted up.
And it's got like 4 items in it.
It's like, it's great.
But they only use like one thing out of the box.
Right?
Yeah. They're great. So
but
they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Like one episode I watched, I was like, okay, this stuff's funny. Because I just wanted to watch one, and I knew it was somewhere we probably never go. But I try not to watch those shows because now
you don't know if we're going to go there or not.
Exactly. And then there's so many people out there nowadays that could literally be like, you watched it on TV.
That's been all over TV.
That's been all over TV.
Yeah.
That's been this. That's been that. You can be debunked. And that was one of the hardest things becoming a paranormal investigator and being a medium was how many times I would hear people say, well, just because you hear it and you see it doesn't mean that it's true. Because there's no way I can prove it to you.
Well, see, I think it's yes and no. I agree with you, but I also think that anything that you get in the field through your mediumship is yours. So you might get something that somebody else didn't. You might know the stories, but there's always a backstory somewhere. You know what I mean?
There's those little times. There's those little times where like there was information like at Davy's house that I knew stuff that they never even put on TV or they never put in anything. And they were like, how did you know this? Like, you know, I was talking about the metal bar in the roof and they were like, how did you know the metal bar was there? Because that hasn't been there for a long time and we don't even know what it was used for.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I just know that it was there and it something keeps showing me this galvanized pipe hanging from the roof.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's sometimes that things will come through, but then there's sometimes like, for instance, here's a new thing that just happened to me, which is completely new to me as a medium. I was sitting down and I was watching like Unsolved Mysteries, because I like crime shows, and
Mhm.
I'm watching it, and there's this one about a case, and I'm not going to go into any names of the case, but we're watching it, and it's about a missing person, and they're telling the story as a missing person, and I'm sitting there, and I get this smell. Nobody else is there, and the smell smelled like a dead rat or dead mouse in the wall kind of smell.
Right.
I was like, this kid's dead. And he was. Like later in the episode, you hear that, because he was missing for a long time, they found him. And yeah, he was dead. They found him like a month later and he was dead and badly decomposed. And I was like, yep. And so I've been trying to push like my medium abilities. And I was like, okay, well, if you're trying to reach out to me and, what's a name? What's this? Who did this to you? And, I got something. And again, I'm not going to like relay it out to the public,
Right.
What I got, because also like, I don't want to put somebody's name out there and be like, oh, well, I think it's this person, but I don't even know who these people are. They're in another state.
Right.
So, as I said, again, sometimes being a medium is a curse.
Right.
I'm just watching a show to relax and rewind, unwind and stuff. And I'm smelling dead
There it
bodies.
comes.
Yeah. I'm smelling dead bodies and speaking with stuff. So, or night.
Well, if Billy would quit dropping ass on you.
Hey, I make no promises. I can't control what I do.
Better out than in.
That work.
Well, I've not. I've heard of situations like that before. In my travels within internet radio and the paranormal, I've come across a lot of mediums. And some of the stories are, watching stuff like that, or who was the lady whose husband killed her and put her in the desert? Casey Anthony?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
No, because Casey Anthony was the mom that killed her
kids.
The kid killer. Yeah. Who was the other one? There was a mother who went missing, and the husband acted all distraught and whatnot about it.
Was she
during
pregnant?
Yeah, I think she was. And during the TV segment where they, all the search party and everybody was going to go out into the desert and do a sweep, you can hear, this is a side story, by the way, you can hear on the news person's interview, the EVP, where she said, he killed me.
Oh, man.
Then the psychic, and we're not friends anymore, but the psychic that I was talking to, she's like, she's in a cave in that area. They're going to find her. And she's been dead for a while. And I think they ended up finding her, of course, in the desert, but the EVP in the newscast, he killed me, was stellar. That was
amazing. I got goosebumps now.
Right? I mean, it's amazing how that works. I mean, hell, Deb and I had EVPs come through, like when we were doing the show a while back, would have EVPs come in before the intro while we were just bullshitting and talking.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And that's happened. That's happened on the other Voices of Contact that I do, that I co-host with other people. They've had
really
strange things in the intro and during the actual show when we're recording, in between voices, in between us talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
I guess
not really common, but I mean, it happens.
I guess the big thing for me is I don't want to be one of those mediums that calls the police station in a place and goes, hey, this is the name I got, and this is, this and this and this. They've got enough of a case that they're already investigating to have me come through, or another, any medium come through and just be like, oh, this person.
Sorry.
Like, I know that it
Yeah.
might or could be a help, but again, as Jason Hawes says, like I can't physically prove it. So it cannot be, it's for you to look at and for you to hear, and you do what you want
Right.
with it.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, and you don't want that smoke. You know, you
No.
call the police and say, you know, look at this guy. Well, okay, now you're a suspect
Yeah, you're not,
just from
you're
that phone call.
number one.
Yeah.
I could have never been in the same state. Like,
No.
I could have never been in the same state. Like, no, not doing it.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's bad juju.
Yeah, it's bad juju. So, like, I had discussed it with Billy, and I was like, of course, I would never do anything like that. But I was like, it was really interesting to me because I'd never had it happen before. So I was kind of like put off by it because I was like, this is new. Like, why am I smelling this? And then, you know, but then I've also had instances like, you know, recently my mom passed away. My mom swore up and down she was going to haunt me when she died, and it's been quiet. So,
And you know, it probably will be for a little while. I mean, it doesn't happen instantaneously.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
that and also her belief system, you know, she didn't believe in an afterlife. So I don't know whether she would believe that there is anything, or she went back to Arizona or New Zealand because she didn't like it. She didn't like it here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, you know, it's weird. I've had instances where people have lost relatives that it could be, you know, 1 year to 10 years before you get anything from them.
maybe
You know,
they're
I think
disabilities.
there's a transitional stage and teachable moments on the other plane that I think that they have to learn before they can actually utilize any of that interdimensional travel.
Well, here's a good question. This is a good question for Deb because she's been, you know, she's been around other mediums and you've been around other mediums. Like when my mom first passed away, I lost my abilities for a while. Like just straight up, it was like I was dead as a doornail. And like inside and out, I could not feel, I could not hear, I could not sense anything. I didn't even get goosebumps. Like it was just like nothing. It was like it's like when I lay down in a pools of water, like it makes everything go silent, which is great. But it was like I was doing that 24/7, just walking, you know what I mean? And I've never experienced that before. So it was really interesting for me to have, like, you know, my mom passed away and then all of my abilities that I have just like silenced all at once.
Well, you know what? When my husband passed away back in '94, the phenomenon that surrounds my life stopped for years, several years. It's almost as if the universe decided to let me heal, gave me a break, you know?
Yeah.
And when your mom passed away, I don't know what the circumstances of your relationship were, but perhaps it was a way for you to heal.
Yeah.
There's emotional damage that you had to deal with before you could get back to normal.
Right. It's shocking when that happens. I've lost both my parents. I was holding my mom's hand when she passed away. Now, my mother was a unique individual, for sure. And I was the only kid that she talked to about death with. The other kids didn't want to. They didn't want to talk about it. They were uncomfortable with it. They didn't feel the same way I did. And her and I talked about it. And she told me the moment that she got over there, if she could, she would show me that I was right. Because she grew up very religious and, she had certain things. And
am I a younger version of her?
But
yes.
Like he's literally speaking like how my mom did to me. Like she didn't believe in the afterlife. She's like, if I get over there and there is something, I'll prove it, but otherwise no,
Well, I'm fortunate, like Greg says, everybody who goes, who jumps over, um, maybe has different things they have to do first. For my mom,
Mhm.
my mom and my husband both, I immediately things happened, but then
Yeah.
that was only within a few days, and then it all stopped, and I haven't had anything from either one since. And
Yeah.
mom's been gone 20 some years, and KO has been gone 30 some years.
Yeah.
But like mom said, I will show you if I can. And she passed away at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was a long ass day down in Indy. By the time I got back to Kokomo, it was almost midnight that night.
Yeah.
And I went to bed. I was exhausted and heartbroken. And then uh, about 1:30 or so in the morning, we were woke up. My husband and I were awakened by this crashing sound going down the stairwell. And we
Yeah.
both jumped out of bed and ran to the stairway and looked down. And on my stairwell, I had photos of family members all up and down the stairwell, And the photograph with my mom in it had come off the nail, rolled down the stairs, and was sitting up at the bottom of the steps at the stairs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I ran and grabbed it, and my husband's like, the nail's still in the wall. And it was a cheap picture frame, like from the Dollar General or something. So it was just like a cardboard hanger on the back, which I looked, assuming that I figuring I would see that the cardboard hanger had ripped, but the cardboard hanger was intact. So that picture jumped off the wall and I immediately went from grief, and heartbroken to ecstatic.
I was going to say probably elation.
And I told my husband, it's my mom. She told me she was going to do that. I told you. And so my dog was freaking out. And at that point, I'm sitting on the couch downstairs in the living room, right? And my husband goes in the kitchen to get something to drink. And I had three, you know what the angel sitters are that sit on the edge of a shelf?
Oh, yeah, I've got some of those.
I had a little one on each part of the wooden step that came up on the second little set of steps that came down in the living room. I had like three of them. And Cookie, my dog at the time, she's at my feet and she's panting, like she's panicking, or freaking out a little bit. And she used to love my mom because every time my mom would come visit for the weekend, she'd bring Cookie a biscuit breakfast sandwich from McDonald's. So she loved my mom, man. And so she's sitting at my feet, panting, like freaking out. And all of a sudden, one of the angels leaps off of the edge of the steps, rolls to my feet, and stops. And the dog loses her shit. And I lost it. I was even more ecstatic because I'd been sitting there saying, it's mom. She told me she was going to do something if she could do it on the other side. It's mom, I'm telling you. And Dave's like, oh, it was kind of weird. So I've had things like that happen. And that was like, she died at 11 o'clock the morning before, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then after that, it's like I said, it's been pretty quiet for 20 years, but I didn't need it. And when I told my brother and my two sisters about it, okay, they were a little pissy. They were like, why didn't mom come to us? And I said, well, did you ask her to? Well, no. Did you talk to her? No. They wouldn't. Two of them wouldn't even come when I called them and said, mom's dying. If you want to say goodbye, you better come up. And they're like, no, I'm good. That's how bad they couldn't face it. It was just them.
That's the strange thing. And some people just can't be there.
No. And so I said, look, don't be mad at me and don't be mad at mom. You didn't ask her to. And truthfully, if she did, would it have scared the shit out of you and you have a heart attack?
Probably.
Well, yeah, probably. Well, then why would your mother ever do something to you that would scare you? Or, or she would think it would scare you. She ain't going to do, she knew she could do that to me. And I'd be like, yes, because she knew we talked and you didn't talk. So don't be mad at me. And mom came to me and didn't come to you.
Right.
She didn't come to you because she loved you and didn't want to scare the shit out of you. And you didn't ask her to. So,
yeah. And I think that's an interesting thing. Like and it's funny. I swear I'm living like your younger life because my mom talked to me about, you know, all of her plans for when she passed away. She talked like, I have an older brother. He's 16 years older than me. We're not, you know, the closest, and he wasn't very close with her, and she wasn't very close with him. And so, you know, I don't know whether he has abilities. I don't know whether he has anything. Like, I don't. But I do know that, you know, she talked with me like about how she wanted everything done, everything was supposed to go to, what, you know, what done here, there, everywhere. It was me. It was always me that handled all of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm the black sheep of the family.
I was always the weird one, the odd one out.
Well,
and I'm like, now everybody else is, I don't know. I'm like,
I think
I feel like I'm normal.
I think that there are lessons that you have to learn once you cross over to the next plane. And if your whole life, your belief system was there's no afterlife, and then you get there and you realize that there are things that you have to adjust to before you can actually do anything else, you know. And
or you
I
might just
think
get right
that
on to it. You might be going right, you know, leaving this plane and shooting right out somebody's vagina somewhere else. You know, bam.
There you go.
I mean, literally, just, you know, the death
No,
in this life is the birth in the next.
the paranormal slip and slide now.
Boom.
There's
I don't
that
know whatever possessed me.
I mean, there's some videos that could be made like that, but I don't know if it's on the same lines of where we want to go with it.
Probably not.
There is a cute little story about a lady. Her dad was passing away, and the minute her dad passed away, these chimes went off in the hospital for this little baby being born. And so she wrote a letter to the parents, you know, that he passed when the baby was born at the same time, and literally like exact minutes, seconds, everything. And they actually named the little baby. The middle name is the dad's.
I love those little things like St. Vincent Carmel. Every time a baby's born, la 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 over the whole intercom. I just think that's so cute.
I think it's absolutely adorable. It's a great way to introduce a baby into this world. Like, let everybody know.
Welcome to the world.
Right.
Welcome to the show. I bleeped myself. But yeah.
Because we can't have that shit on here.
But that's what I wondered is, like, you know, if you've heard about anybody else besides, you know, yourself and me, of course, saying it. Have you guys ever heard of anybody else having like their abilities just like gone after somebody passing?
For a while, yeah. Like I said, I think it's
a grieving healing process.
Yeah. You know, and for another, and you're not, and I maybe another thing too, you're not you're turned more inward in your own grief. So you're not as, you know, plugged into what's going on around you because you're more focused inside. Inward, you know what I mean? So I think that's probably fairly commonplace amongst folks. I think it depends on how impacted you were by the loss.
It was definitely it was difficult, but in ways that people don't understand, because we didn't have the greatest of relationships. Like, me and my mom couldn't live together.
And sometimes that makes the loss harder.
It was okay. So I always like said, you know, I probably wouldn't feel the way that I do now. I was like, I'm not going to feel that way. I'm not going to feel that way. Like, it's going to be fine. And then it happened, and I'm like, why do I feel like this? Like, why? And you know, that turmoil inside of being like, you know, why do I feel? So
grief is a nasty deal.
Right.
And it's very personalized. It's different for everybody. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no time frame. It's just everybody's on their own path, you know.
Well, it makes sense too, because right after my grandmother passed away in November, late October, November, anyway, she had Alzheimer's pretty bad. So she basically just knew at that point how to breathe. She didn't know anything, anybody. But she had been like that for a while. And I had already got in my mind that, she's not been there. Her soul has not been in her meat bag
For a
for a
while.
couple of years,
You're probably right.
So that grief level on my part, and even on my father's part, was minimalized. I mean, it was the death of his mother, and he took it, he was upset about it, and it took him, some time to grieve about it.
Probably
With me,
so.
yeah, I mean, and with my
I don't
faith,
want that to be like horrible.
with my faith and my belief system is we don't die, we just move to the next plane.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not going to see you again. So that kind of minimalizes my own thought process, I guess, kind of rationalizes it to me personally. But after she passed away, I had asked her if she had saw my aunt, and I got an EVP come back to me and says, yeah, I've seen Janice, and said her name,
Yeah.
but I think, my level of grief wasn't as significant as if I was to lose my mom or my dad.
Yeah. Well,
It was different.
My silly part was I'm a paranormal investigator. My mom just passed away. So guess what I did? Like when everybody was gone, I popped out equipment and I started like trying to, hear through the spirit box, trying to, and tried to get EMF readings and trying anything. And it was just silent. And I was like, ugh.
Girl, I know more dead people than living at this point in my life. And I don't think I haven't tried that a dozen million times. And when I get sometimes if I'm just sitting here by myself watching TV or something, and all of a sudden someone will pop in my head that I've lost, and if it's strong enough of an urge, I'll whip my K2 meter out and I'll get my little N1 and I'll just do a few little recordings,
Yeah.
And I probably have got something once in 20 years of doing that. But so that's the paranormal investigator in me. That's,
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to say. I am going to probably let the juniors have an investigation of their own.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we have stuff that goes on at our house, but that could just because, what we are and who we are.
Right. Yeah.
But there's always stuff going on at this house. It's very interesting. And glasses shattering that aren't there, doors opening and closing that aren't there, foot shadows underneath doors that aren't there, constantly seeing somebody walking in the kitchen, there's nobody there, doors opening and closing but they're locked.
You ever get hit in the head with a drop of water from nowhere?
I haven't done that one yet.
I call it baptism. I get the
you just got
boom right there on my forehead, and it'll run right down onto the tip of my nose, and I'll look up, see it, and expect that there's nothing. There's no water anywhere.
But
anointed by the Holy Spirit.
Somebody's spitting a loogie at you.
Gotcha.
And the funny thing is, it dries up, it absorbs real fast. Once you feel it.
I think I want to let the juniors just have at it here at the house and take my auntie to a hotel for one night and go let them have a blast in here and let them investigate.
Yeah.
Because I think
they get something.
It would be interesting to see what they pull out because nothing's been done here, to be honest. And it is a newer home. The property is not a newer property, but it is a newer home. So, I mean, we've had activity since the day we walked in the door. So, and we didn't have activity in our old house really much, besides my daughter seeing the Hat Man that everybody talks about when they're young. But I definitely want to see what the juniors can do, and having them in a controlled environment, a smaller controlled environment where, I'm not worried about them getting hurt or falling downstairs or, it's a one level place. I think that would be interesting. And plus, everybody that was on our live loved watching those juniors go.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome
Yeah.
to support. And then I hope we can get a juniors video, and then at the end, all of us clapping and rooting and whistling when they came back in the door. That was, all of us were clapping, like everybody heard us. Good job. Like those kids deserved it. They did phenomenal. I'm so proud of them. Proud mom moment.
Yeah, we can set that up. We'll get together. We'll sit down and find a good time for that to happen. And
I know we got a lot going on, but one weekend it don't hurt.
right. So we already talked about our upcoming events. So we've got an investigation coming up. We got the roads coming up this year. We got the website that's going on. We're still under construction. Bear with me. We're working on it. We've got go out if you haven't already. Go out to the Boonville, Indiana Paranormal Society Facebook page. Fill out the questions when you click on it, please.
Yes, please.
And then interact. Post stuff up on there. We'll have videos on the YouTube page.
Live feed.
YouTube. Yeah, we'll have the live feed on investigations.
Yeah.
We've got the parade coming up in September. We're working possibly, we had talked about a Paracon that's going on in Southwest Kentucky. I think that's in October, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look again.
It's nearby my birthday.
So we've got a lot going on, and BIPS is super busy right now, which is excellent. But if you guys have problems going on in your home and whatnot, go out to the bipspara.org website. You can fill out a investigation request out there on the website, or, reach out to us any way you can. And like Felicia said, all of our investigators have email addresses. You can email us one-on-one. We'll answer any of your questions, comments, concerns. You just want to talk paranormal. I've got plenty of time sitting behind a computer all day long.
I had a phone call like that just here a while back. Somebody just wanted to chit chat and talk about the paranormal.
Yeah.
I have no clue how they got my phone number other than the website. That's the only way.
You don't want to talk paranormal. You just want somebody to talk to you. Got you.
I got you.
I got you. Sometimes
Right.
it's not talking about paranormal. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's nice to not. And sometimes it's nice to do it all the time. Like, it's fine.
That's true. It is. Talk about what you love, and and you have conversations in between. You make a good friend out of it, and I think that's one of the cool things about the paranormal field.
Yeah.
Is that you can talk to somebody about paranormal stuff, like someone from another team. Next thing you've got a friend for life, and you just chit chat about BS. I think that's what's good.
That's how we met.
And then please, guys, don't follow us home.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
Right.
don't follow us home. We love you
Yeah,
guys. We'll come out. We'll see you. You want to have a meet and greet? You contact us. We'll come out. We'll meet and greet you. Just don't follow us home.
Right.
Because it has happened. But I love you guys. I do. I love everybody.
So how often do you get phone calls like that, Billy? Do you, all the time, or just?
That's the first time that I've had somebody actually call me and want to just shoot the breeze about, paranormal investigation and not have some type of ulterior motive behind it. Like, so, it was actually quite interesting. And I guess the craziest part of it, Greg, is this person actually was from an area that I grew up in. I was born and raised in Wilmington, Ohio, and it was a 513 area code, which is a Cincinnati area code. So that's a Cincinnati area, man. So I was like, wait a minute.
Look.
What is the odds?
It's scurry gurry.
It's scurry gurry. He's like, I got to fix my hair. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. He'll get it cut here soon.
Maybe. I'll think about
Well,
it.
we can't see your eyes. That's why I lifted it up a little bit so we can see your face. There you go.
So everybody, this is Gary. He is the lead investigator for the junior team on BIPS, and he's a good kid. He's a sponge. He likes to take it all in. So
He learned so quickly. Again, we're really
yeah, and they did a
do.
good job. Really good job.
We were
Junior
talking-
members
So-
do good.
all the junior members do good, right? Yeah, we told everybody about everybody and told them how good you guys did. So I'm glad you're out here for a second so you can.
I like the new banner.
You like the new banner.
And we got another one coming for events.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we want to tell them about the event that we're trying to work on for 25.
No, not
You
yet.
want to do that?
I would hold on to that for just a little longer. Just know that there's something in the works, guys.
There's something in the works. Be ready. Put a little pocket
Definitely.
change in your pocket and be ready because it might be fun. It might be.
Oh, I
some-
think it will be. Yeah.
You're gonna need some money for food. Let me put it that way.
All right. So you guys, I guess we've been at it for almost
You forgot one
2
other
hours. And
starting.
what did I forget?
Well, it's not actually the society that's starting. I'm starting it. The Meta. So I'm starting a metaphysical shop and paranormal shop. So we're going to be those wonderful little spirit boxes that I built. I'm going to be making those and selling those. And then a lot of the proceeds are going to be donated to BIPS because I want to make it easier on our team because we do pay dues. All of us pay dues, and I want to make it easier on our team for us to go to more fun investigations, pay for more gas, pay for pizza. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we're going to have like crystals and pendulums and tarot cards and we're going to try to build our own REM pods. We're going to build the spirit portals and, specialized stuff for people. Maybe we'll do mystery boxes, blind bags, something like that, where you get a little bit of what you want.
Candle. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Hell yeah. Candles, incense.
Protection jars. I was talking about making
Right.
protection jars and having herbs and talismans. If you're into ruins, making bind ruins for you that are made specifically for you. That's coming in the works. It's probably not going to be right away because starting a business is a little pricey, but it's going to happen, and we're going to donate proceeds to BIPS. Besides, the price of like making the stuff and funding the stuff to make it, we're going to be putting it towards BIPS. So it'll be fun.
Right. And it is going to be fun, I think.
Greg's
be able
really
to make some. That's right. I got things coming and stuff on ideas, and I'm going to try and build and music boxes.
Greg's been a wonderful asset on the team because of all of the ideas that he's come up with. And I don't know how many pendulums I've got sitting at my house right now, ready to hit the shop as soon as we're ready and open.
Right.
So, and some really pretty ones too. So
there are some neat ones. I'm still looking for your hematite one though.
I know, but I did find some
is
crystals that were missing. So I found some crystals that were missing. So, and I also found a Nikon J1 camera. That's an older Nikon for us to use for the Paranormal Society.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
we're going to test that out and see how it works. Cause I heard older cameras, you can get some really interesting stuff off of them.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And they're easier to manipulate as far as even making them a full spectrum camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taking that filter off.
So,
Yep.
yeah. Well,
It'll be
taking taking the filter off and then putting the flat glass lens on, I think is what I was reading, or something to that effect.
Yep.
That makes it full spectrum, which is, I mean, how could it be that easy and not everybody does it?
right.
Instead of buying them. Right.
Don't play with me.
You
Make
know?
me find out a way to do this, and I'll go buy all the broke down cameras and turn them into full spectrum cameras. I
Right.
will. Because I've been
Hell
breaking stuff recently, and it's not as hard as I was thinking it was. So
Yeah, not at all. I'm surprised with some of the stuff that they're, the price that they want you to buy retail on some of the items that you can make. I'm like, hell yeah.
That's
getting
the
on that.
that's the other thing that we were looking at is a lot of the items that we were finding were so expensive. Like some of those spirit portals I'm looking at online are like $300 to $500. That's without
Oh,
shipping. Okay. For the little ones that I make,
Yeah.
$500, and even more if they have crystals glued to them and some copper wire.
Mhm.
Now they're up to like $700-800 to $1,000. I'm like,
And people are buying them.
and people are buying them. And so guess what, market? I'm going to be making you drop them prices because I'm tired of seeing everybody's paranormal equipment being so astronomically high.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man.
There's no reason you should go to the store and buy a spire, a crystal as big as my iPhone 15 plus. You shouldn't be buying it for $300, $150, $200. That is ridiculous. So
it is. It's very.
So you're gonna.
All right.
Gonna come up.
Yeah, and be looking for that shop. And once it's up, we'll advertise the bejeebers out of it so everybody can get in on that and find us and buy your stuff and enjoy it and be able to investigate. That's the biggest thing, man. Investigating on a budget and having all this equipment out here that is being used regularly in the field. I mean, the REM pod, you're looking at $300 sometimes, anywhere between $180 to $300.
Yeah.
Not every investigative team has that kind of cheddar to be able to spend that money to go out and use that on an investigation. And that's ridiculous. Everybody should be able to afford their passion.
There's only one place that I know that sells decently good priced equipment, and even then it's still pretty pricey, and that's Attic Junkie. And they're not sponsoring us or anything, but like they do have some cheaper equipment. Like the Scare Bear that they have is I think only like $60 on like the $300 one on some of the other sites. It's nice to have an option out there to get some cheaper stuff, but everybody just wants to make a buck. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like that's not the way it should be. These items are used to help people, not to
gouge.
Yeah, to gouge everything. Like goodness gracious.
Well, I mean, if they're looking to sponsor somebody, I know a paranormal team and a radio show that could go for some sponsors. I'm just saying.
Got sponsored.
I'm just saying.
Your name could be on this banner today.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Now, like
we can make that happen.
We can make it happen. So.
Right.
But.
All right, you guys. Anything else you want to let everybody know out there in Radio Land?
I want everybody to have a good, safe weekend, and I just want everybody to have like love and light in their life.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on with us, and as always, it's a pleasure to even share the screen with you. If we get Andrea Perrin on, I'll have you guys come on and guest host with us.
That'd be fun.
And have a chat with her because I mean she's just super cool. She just really is. So
I'm
all
just
right. So listen, go ahead.
I'm just gonna be quiet, sitting here and listen, like
right.
Little star.
Unlike the Jason Hawes panel where he came by and put his crotch in my face, but
hey, that was the best.
Yes. Dude.
Jason Hawes put his crotch in my face. I just want you to know, Deb.
Just to answer my question.
Nice.
Yes.
But he's
like, why do I have Jason Hawes' dick in my face? That just is wrong.
You know why his dick was in your face? To tell everybody that paranormal investigating should be free. That people that are scammers.
That's be free.
Paranormal investigation is free, but blowjobs are $20. Oh my God.
Oh goodness, Greg.
Oh no.
All right, we're out of beer, out of here. Time to see you guys next week. Remember, come join us on Midwest Paratalk Radio next Thursday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and we are out. We'll see you guys next week.